If you like what we're doing here, make sure to give us a positive rating on iTunes, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to this show. Also, make sure to check out the YouTube channel at youtube.com/thatoneandrew, where full recordings of this podcast are posted along with a plethora of other videos. We now also have our very own Patreon, so if you'd like to support us monetarily, head over to patreon.com/thatoneandrew. Check it out today, and thank you for listening. Now, onto the show. Skitty bop. You know Skitty?
The Pokemon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up with
My
that
fav-
cat? It's all
My
pink.
favorite Pokemon?
It's weird.
I
I don't
love
like it.
Skitty. It was my
Greetings,
first
all.
oh.
It's your first what?
It was my first shiny Pokemon that I caught that wasn't from Gen 2.
My first one was Gyarados.
Well, from Gen 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's everyone's.
Most likely. Greetings, all. Well, welcome to the Gaming Block Podcast, your number one podcast for all the pertinent video game news spanning across all platforms, including Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, and more. I am your host, Andrew, and today I'm joined by one half of the bad boys of video games, Jake.
Guys should start getting used to this, I guess.
My mouth gets so wet. It's hard to talk
You're just
sometimes.
so
You ever
moist for
get
our...
that? You know, where you just
Um,
like your mouth just gets super wet and you're like, shiz, it's like I'm talking through a pool right now.
I kinda... I get more so dry throat, like dry mouth, and so moist I can't talk.
Get moist mouth.
Moist.
Gets all moisty in there.
Moist.
Well, in this episode, we're going to discuss the Silent Hill director teasing a new project. That's not the director. It's the composer. I don't know why I put director. I'm a liar.
Woo. Wow. I can't believe
E3
you.
coming back digitally, CD Projekt Red news that isn't related to Cyberpunk, and much more. But before we get through all that, tradition dictates that I ask you guys, how
Guys.
your week's been. Yeah, well,
Uh,
Roger's not here yet again. It is Tuesday night that we are recording this. Podcast should be uploaded Wednesday. Hopefully this weekend we can get back to a normal schedule of Saturday.
you
We'll
wish.
see. Yeah, we'll see what happens. But how's your week been? How's your elongated week been?
It's been all right. It's been cold.
Hate the cold.
It's been so cold that I had to break out the radiator for my room because my room, the hottest room in our apartment, is now very cold, even
I
with the
feel
heater.
like most of America is in just like freezing winter right now. It kind of came out of nowhere too, because it was getting nice there for a while, and then winter was like, "Oh, I'm still here."
Like, you
Boom.
forget about me? Hmm.
Yeah. So we're not the only ones dealing with this harsh coldness that doesn't seem to be going away soon.
Yeah.
But that's all right. Gives you an excuse to stay in, maybe drink some hot cocoa, enjoy the weather, I guess, or
Gives
enjoy
me more of an
being.
excuse not to DoorDash.
Yeah, gives you an excuse not to do anything.
Anything. Oh,
Yeah.
well, I guess I'm getting called out.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm saying like everyone.
Mm.
I spent 5 hours watching YouTube documentaries today, so.
Yeah, I know. I came home and you were watching one about the guy who jumped out of the plane.
I don't even know how it got there, because initially what I looked up, and actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and get onto YouTube right now, and I'm going to check my history, because it was
Your
one of
recommendeds
those
are going to be all
it was
documentaries
one of
now.
those things where it's like, how did we end up here? You know? You
Yeah.
look up one thing and
Just
then
get down the rabbit hole.
you get down the rabbit hole. So, what it started with, Jake,
Uh-huh.
what it started with was I was just looking at random recommended videos, some Attack on Titan ones, some Seinfeld ones, classic videos. And then this one for the Nuremberg trial popped up, and I had never heard of this. I was like, the Nuremberg trial. American history, we don't actually learn anything in our history.
No, you
They
learned
don't
that
teach us shit.
racism died in the '60s, and that the world is at peace except for 9/11 in the Middle East.
Exactly. But the Nuremberg trials were the trials of the Nazi leaders after World War II. It's like, oh, interesting.
I
And
love learning about that.
then that mentioned this like uh what do you call Holocaust film that they showed, but they are like, we're not going to show because it's kind of graphic. I was like, I want to see it, so I looked it up, and then after that, the this recommended to how do Germans teach World War II popped up. I was like, sure, I'll watch that. And then the Tokyo trial popped up, which was kind of the same thing, but for the Japanese. And then this is where it gets interesting. I started learning about Unit 731, which was like the secret Japanese unit that made biological weapons. And then it just started going downhill from there. And I was seeing more like biological things. And we started getting into like assassinations popped up for some reason. And I saw videos of like JFK assassinations, Abraham Lincoln assassinations. I saw this one interview thing with a person that allegedly was there when Lincoln got shot. He was like 5 years old, and he was on the show when he was like 98. And
Hmm.
he was like, I was there, I was five or something. And then it
Like
spiraled to like failed assassination attempts. Did you know someone threw a grenade at George W. Bush, but it didn't go off?
oh my god, no! I know
Yeah,
someone. Was it they threw a water bottle at him, right? And
maybe.
then they threw a shoe at him. And they kept missing him.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was during a press conference. Yeah, it was one of
Yeah,
the that was one of like the reporters or something through a
that was
shoe.
that was funny. A grenade's not funny.
Um and then it started getting some more things like the elephant's foot, which is a Chernobyl thing, and some more nuclear reactor stuff. But it was just like a whole rabbit hole, you know? It was like
Hmm.
I did not intend to do any of this, but here we are. And I'm a little more knowledgeable about the world now because of it.
And you'll forget it all until you need it.
Maybe. I don't know. I remember weird things, Like
Hmm.
nothing useful, but like
Like that one time in
useless
band camp.
useless stuff like that one time in band camp, I guess. Never seen that movie because those movies looked idiotic to me.
Same. I would just know the quote, and I knew the quote before I knew it was from the movie.
Well, there you go.
Because
There
everyone
it
in school
is.
would say it. That was in band, and I was like, "What does it mean?"
All right. You know what we're going to do?
What?
I'm going to do the gaming riddle for
Yeah.
this week, and I want to see if you can get it. If you
Okay.
don't, I get a point. If you do, you get a point.
Okay.
You only get 3 questions, though. That's it.
And
Third
guesses
question
count as
has to be the
questions, right?
guess. Huh?
Do I get 3 guesses?
3 guesses, 3 questions, whichever.
Okay. Okay.
The riddle goes as follows. Started on PlayStation, but not exclusive. Kind of scary, but kind of brave. Always changing in different ways. Founding, but derivative. My bad.
Is
Founding, but
it
derivative.
Resident Evil?
No.
No.
Bold move not asking questions first, but going straight to a guess.
Is it still ongoing?
Yes.
Yes. Hmm.
Angel's about to get a point. I just got a feeling, deep down
Is
in
it
my
Silent
sack.
Hill?
It is not Silent Hill.
Okay.
It is Tomb Raider.
Oh, that's not scary.
Have you ever played Tomb Raider?
Yeah,
Which one?
the first one or the remake on PSP.
The remake on PSP. I'm saying the series as a whole.
Oh.
That game has some pretty scary parts.
Uh, uh,
And then always changing in different ways, The game has changed significantly through a lot of their iterations. And then founding but derivative. It kind of founded the action adventure type Indiana Jones type thing.
mhm.
But then it started, taking things from Uncharted in its new series. So, it's derivative of that. But
I feel like they could have also been Resident Evil from that description too on all those.
Um, Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I would say kind of scary, but kind of brave for Resident
Hmm.
Evil.
I assumed you meant like the scary, and then the brave part was when it went to like Resident Evil 6, and it's like, wow, that really is brave move that they made.
Fair
Raccoon
enough.
City, oh my god, I
That's
don't know.
pretty brave. A brave man or woman, I guess, I don't know, would say that. All right. After that awkward transition, let's
All
go ahead
right.
and jump into what we've been playing. For me, I've been playing quite a few games, and I wish Roger was here because, man, I'd have things to talk about. But I've
Yeah,
been playing Doom Eternal on the Xbox. I've been playing Titanfall 2 on the Xbox. And I've been playing Streets of Rage 4 on the Xbox. I'm an Xbox person now. All I play is Xbox games, I swear.
you lie.
I lie about what?
Being an Xbox guy.
Oh, yeah.
Until Persona's on there, then you're all in.
I don't know because I was thinking about it. I've been playing this. I've had this Series X for what? It's been like a week and a half now, two
About
weeks,
that.
something like that. Not that long,
Hmm.
And I feel like maybe I've just had the PS5 too long, and I'm getting annoyed by a lot of the little things. And this is new and flashy, but there's just comparing them, apples to apples, console to console, set games aside, just talking about the system itself and its features. I'm really starting to hate the PS5 UI. I think it's clunky. I think it's not user friendly. um it's confusing. There's so many folders and things are hidden away. I kind of hate it a lot. I'm not a big fan of the card system they got. I never use it ever. It just, you know, is there kind of in the way.
Hmm.
Um, and I don't know because I get on Xbox and it's just like super quick. It's super fast. I know where everything is. Even if I don't know where it is, it's like, oh, this is how it used to be. Oh, yep, it's still right there. If I
Hmm.
want to check my achievements, hit the button. Oh, there's achievements. To check trophies on PlayStation, it feels like it changes every generation, but it's really changed now. They fucking hide them away now. You got to go
You just
like
press
all the
the
way over.
PlayStation button.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you do. Press the PlayStation button, hit your profile, and then go to trophies.
That's what you have to do. Yeah, you have to hit profile and go to trophies. Like they're hiding it away. Xbox, you hit the home button, boom, it's right there. Like that's what I mean. It's so not user friendly. It's like, oh yeah, you can see your trophies over here. Like, yeah, go down here and over through here. It's like, why? Why do I have to do that? What was the problem before when you hit the home button on the PS4? Trophies were right there. It was a part of the top screen. But now you got them hidden away. And it's not just the trophies. Also, quick resume is honestly like, before when we were talking about PlayStation, it's like, yeah, games load so quick and stuff. And they do. But this quick resume thing is like no joke. I was playing Doom Eternal and I stopped playing it like, oh, I don't know, a week. Oh, like I don't know. Like I stopped playing it and I started playing another game. I think it was Streets of Rage 4, and I beat that game, which good game. Um, Fun. Never really played a Streets of Rage game before that. But I enjoyed it. And then I played Titanfall 2 and beat that. And then I went back to Doom like 6 days later after playing like two different games, like opening other apps, going to YouTube and everything. I totally forgotten about it. Jumped back into Doom. It did a little quick resume thing. Boom, right where I was on the pause screen. And I know it's like, you're just on the home screen, and you just continue the game, but it's so nice being like, I'm right where I left off. I
Hmm.
hit unpause and I'm right there.
It's like when you leave a game of Risk for a while, then come back and it's like, ah, it's still all set up.
Kind of. Or like back in the day when we had like, you'd pause the game on your PS2 and then walk away for 3 days and come
Come back
back
and the
and
game's frozen.
oh god, it's the worst. But I
Uh,
really like the quick resume, and it loads so fast too. Like PlayStation had the marketing for their like load time and all that. Xbox's loads pretty quickly, and I know technically PlayStation's faster, but when you're getting in like millisecond territory or like 2 or 3 second difference, it really doesn't matter. Like it's nice to have, I guess, to say, hey, we load faster, but I would definitely take the 1 terabyte of memory over the 800 gigs of memory.
mhm.
I would take that over 2 more seconds of like loading speed
It'll be nice when we get
because
those external, approved external solid states.
Mm-hmm. Which I think those are out on Xbox too, aren't they?
Yeah, this came out day and date, but there's only one option.
Yeah, but even then, at this point, I'll take one option over nothing. We still have nothing for Sony. So it's
Yeah.
weird because I
The
love the
nice thing
PS.
is on like PS5, you can still play PS4 games on an external hard drive, but on Xbox Series X, you can only offload games onto an external drive. You can't play them off of the external drive unless you have their solid state.
Yeah, but even then, like, I don't know. I feel like with the terabyte, it's only 200 gigs more. But I downloaded a ton of games, and I was not in a position where I was like, man, I wish I could download more. Over on
Mhm.
PlayStation, I feel like I'm constantly fighting. Like, okay, what do I have to delete now? What do I have to install now? And I don't know, like, because once you get when you get down to it, it's like it has 800 gigs, but then how much of that is taken up by
You have about 615.
yeah, you have like 615. That's not a lot.
Hmm.
Like some games are Call of Duty was like over 100, and Call of Duty's not the only one. Like I would like to play Cyberpunk on my PS5. Like I have the game and I know it runs okay on PS5, like it's playable. But I'm like, that's like 100 gigs, and this thing doesn't like that's a lot of space. If I
Hmm.
had it on Xbox, honestly, I'd be like, I have a terabyte. Sure. Like sure, I have over 900 gigs available on this thing. I will install Cyberpunk. But on the PlayStation 5, it's like so restricted with that memory. And I
Yeah.
know once the games get rolling out, like PlayStation will have good games coming out to it. And I'm not saying I like regret buying the PS5 at all, but I am
Hmm.
saying like if you're on the fence about like PS5 and an Xbox Series X and you don't care about exclusives, like if you're that person that's like I only play third party, honestly, I might have to say like, go with the Xbox cuz those few features of having more memory and the quick resume, it's nice. Like it's a quality of life things. And the controller feels good too. Much more responsive than the Xbox One's controller. I don't know how
Hmm.
they fucked that up so bad, but it was fucked up so bad. Series X, it's very responsive. You hit the home button and the home menu pops right up. That alone is like, thank God.
See, it's just kind of funny because like this entire time you've had it, I keep forgetting you have it. I just think you're on an Xbox One.
I know, right? And
Um,
I hated the Xbox One. Like even the Xbox One S, I was like, I hate this thing. It's slow, it's sluggish, it's not good looking. It sucks.
mhm.
But the Series X, I'm like, it is. Know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Windows 8 to Windows 10. Windows 8 sucked ass. Windows 10 isn't that bad.
Mhm.
That's how this feels. Xbox One sucked ass. Xbox Series X, not that bad. It's pretty good.
I still I want to get one, but I have absolutely zero reason to own one until Halo comes out.
Yeah.
Like, there's absolutely no reason I should have one until Halo comes out. Like, and even then, when Halo comes out, it's going to be day and date on PC, and I'm kind of like on the line whether I even want to get in a Series X for it since I already got the PlayStation
Yeah.
5.
If you get it on
Um,
PC, I would because I'm pretty sure you don't have like one of the newer graphics cards, right?
no, it's a 1050.
It would be
It would look better on Xbox Series X,
definitely, yeah. You're not
and
gonna get
it's
ray
the Series
tracing or
X is
anything like that.
tech is cheaper than a 3080.
Yeah. And
Um,
you'd get like faster load times too. Like it would probably be a better experience on the console, honestly.
and that's how I'm
But
used to playing Halo is on console.
yeah,
So that's I don't know if I could make the whole plunge to PC with Halo.
because that is one
Um,
thing about Microsoft is that it doesn't. We've only had one so far, but their first true exclusive game, which I thought they were doing the thing where they're saying like every game is coming out day and date, like both consoles. They're doing that thing. Where like, oh, if it comes out on Series X, it'll also come out on Xbox One. Remember when they were saying that?
yeah.
That was just a fucking lie because the Medium came out and that's Xbox Series X only.
Hmm.
So they flat out lied,
Well,
which
and the
isn't
thing is,
surprising, but
with
it
Halo,
is.
they should cancel the Xbox One port because I'm pretty sure that's what's holding them back.
They're making it free to play, dude. They're gonna need all the player base. I wouldn't be surprised if Halo Infinite came to PlayStation honestly one day because I think it's gonna be free to play. I think it's gonna be a free to play MMO or not an MMO, but you know,
Destiny.
but something like that. Yeah, kind of like Destiny.
honestly, and if it's Destiny, I probably won't even get an Xbox Series X.
I think it'll have a campaign too, but the way they talk
Well, the
about it, we're
campaign
like
is endless, which is like, okay.
kind of like Destiny, I guess. Yeah.
Like if
So,
I, it's just gonna be one of those games I have to keep buying expansions for.
yep.
I don't know.
Hmm.
I'm just probably not gonna get it
It's
or an Xbox.
it's very obvious what they're doing.
Mhm.
But what I was going back to is
Especially with like, it's got the telltale signs of a game set up to fail with how many people have left it, how many times it's been delayed, how much the direction has changed from like the last game.
yeah, you can tell
It's
they're
they're
panicking
in
over
full
there.
panic mode and they don't know what to
Hmm.
do. Uh, and like I don't know.
They
It's
know what
just
to do. Buy more
like
studios.
nothing they've put out since Bungie left has been good. Like they put out a botched remake of Halo One. They really dropped the ball with Halo 5. Halo 4 was okay. Um, and the Master Chief Collection was just a mess when it launched. But the only good thing to come out of the Master Chief Collection was Halo 2 Remastered, where they nailed the campaign on that. At least the remake part. All the mechanics there are still Bungie's. So really, the only successes they've had are just kind of copying Bungie's homework and making it look a little different.
Yeah. Well, who knows? Halo Infinite does seem like a departure from traditional Halo, and maybe
Mhm.
that's a good thing. Maybe that's what
But it also
343
looks
needs to
like
do.
they're going all in on the nostalgia with the music and the visuals.
That might, I mean, that's not a bad idea. Like, take what people love about Halo, which is like the aesthetic of it and the music of it, rip that out, and then put it into a modern game that isn't Halo. Because Halo 4 and 5, they were their own things, but they're also
Mhm.
like ripoffs, and they're also like not letting go of the past. Like, we got to bring these characters back. We got to keep bringing Chief back, Cortana back. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, they
I don't
felt
think
like
they'll have
they're
the balls to kill Chief though.
no, I don't think so either. But I do think with Halo Infinite, what they're doing is they're going to do their own thing, their own Destiny type thing,
Mhm.
alongside, some familiarity. Oh, there's still like this looks like Halo 3. We're still in the ring. Music
Mhm.
is there and all that stuff. At least I think that was a game that they're thinking of. Who knows what they're making now?
I
Probably
don't think
that, but
I
I
don't think
don't
they're
know.
gonna stop making Master Chief Halo games until he's physically sat on all seven of the Halo rings that are in that universe.
And then they'll find something new. They'll be like, oh
Well,
my gosh,
the thing
that's
is
a
that
Halo, not a
that was the
Halo.
thing. Like in Halo 3, they found the Arc, which is what controls all the Halos, and it's like that's the biggest thing. Um, and then 4, they're like, oh, it's a Forerunner world. The whole thing is a Halo. It's a Halo ball.
So
Um,
Planet,
yeah, it's an inside out planet. Um,
fantastic.
but I don't know. Like Halo 4 was fine. I think it was still like kind of it's a little dipping its toes in old Halo and new Halo. And then every time I see the grappling hook on Chief's arm in the Halo Infinite promotion images, it just makes me angry.
Okay, get grappling hook. You want to tell the people what you've been playing? The
Not
one
Halo.
game.
Yeah, I've just been playing a lot of Shovel Knight lately. I got back into it and I started getting a lot of feats. And then I'm like, well, you know what? I've never done this. I want to get all the feats in Shovel Knight. So that's been fun until it wasn't. Now I'm on the part where I have to uh, beat the game without dying, and then also do another playthrough where I beat it in an hour and a half. So that's gonna be. I got one challenge now. I'm on the second to last level, trying to beat every Knight of the Order of No Quarter. It took me long enough just to get through the first level without dying once, and most of it was like a lot of bullshit.
Yeah,
Um, but man, it really takes a lot out of you. I didn't realize like how much health you would lose in those stages, and I'm playing on New Game Plus as well, so I take double damage from everything. So that just makes it even harder, especially on the boss rush where you only get health every other boss you beat instead of every boss.
yeah.
So I just got to be really, really vigilant while I play.
I was telling you that like that platinum is one of the hardest platinums. I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure it has a lower percentage than any like Dark Souls, Demon Souls game.
I think it's got like a 0.2%,
Yeah, so that's one of the hardest. That's lower than damn near any game
but I
that
love
doesn't
Shovel
have
Knight.
online. So
I'll do it for Shovel Knight.
Yeah.
Now, will I 100% Shovel Knight as far as trophies are concerned? Probably not. No. But if I got that platinum trophy, that's fine with me.
Yeah, man. Go for the platinum.
I may go for all the feats in Spectre Knight's campaign, Spectre of Torment, because I really like that one, and I wouldn't mind just like playing in that one because it just feels really nice to play. Um, but I don't know. But definitely not Plague Knights. Plague Knights campaign is just ridiculous. It's so hard.
Well, either way, I wish you luck on your adventure.
Thanks. I'm getting closer. I almost beat the Order of No Quarter on my first try, but um, then I got to Tinker Knight, and every time I get to him, he just destroys me.
uh, all right. Well, before we get into the news for this week, I do have a question for you.
Mhm.
I'm going to reword this a little bit. The question is, in what order are burgers constructed?
Huh.
In what order are burgers constructed? Now, do you want me to go first, or do you have like a way that you make them? Because I feel like there's a right way.
I think
This is really throwing them
it's
off.
2 all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
See, that's a common mistake, and I'll tell you why. Because I used to be that way too. The correct way to construct a burger is you have the bottom bun, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you put the lettuce on there. And then you put the patty and then the accoutrements. You know, your onions, your tomatoes, maybe throw some mushrooms on there. You know, mustard, ketchup, barbecue sauce, whatever you want, pickles, and then the top.
Mm.
Now, let me tell you about this lettuce thing. I had never heard of this until recently, and it is a god saver because when you get a sandwich, say like, Five Guys, one of the best sandwich places ever, one of the best burger places, you get the burger and it's great. But, you got to take it home or something. So you take it home, and when you get there, it's all soggy at the bottom and it starts falling apart and it sucks. Now, what the lettuce does is it protects that bottom bun. So even if you have to take it to go, it doesn't get soggy. You see what I'm saying?
I think I see what you're saying.
It is really a miracle that I had never heard of. No one ever told me. I honestly felt a little neglected by my parents when I found out how to make a burger. Because, my family, big fan of cookouts, have them all the time burgers, hot dogs, whatever. They never told me this. They had little Andrew running around with a soggy bun and they didn't care. They didn't have a care in the world.
See, in my childhood, my mom, she's very much a well done person. So burgers weren't
Oh,
too juicy.
oh
Growing up.
no.
So I didn't have her have to usually worry about that.
Well done.
Now,
That
medium rare
might
is
be
all the
that might be worse.
way.
I'd rather have a soggy bun than a. Wait, is that even a burger anymore? That's like charcoal between bread.
Oh, I know. No, they were
Oh,
good though. They weren't as good as they could be.
yeah.
Most of the time though, what I make is I was just doing the McDonald's thing at the first, but I'll just do like bottom bun, then my condiments, then the patty, and then the toppings, and then the bun.
I see. I see. Condiments on the bottom. That
And
is
that
a
way,
people do. Yeah.
the reason why I do that is so that usually when you're eating a burger or something from a restaurant, they put the ketchup or mustard or whatever in with like the lettuce, pickles, and tomato. It makes it all kind of like fall apart and fall out while
Mm-hmm.
you're eating. Put it on the
Mm-hmm.
bottom, it all kind of sticks together still.
That is true.
They don't have as much like lubricant to
That
like
works
splash
as
out.
well with the lettuce. You put it on top of the If you put the lettuce on the bottom, then you
Hmm.
put the condiments on top of the lettuce, and then the patty, it'll still be good. It's
Hmm.
still good. So.
It's a lot. It's always the pickles and the tomatoes that want to make a quick escape.
Mm-hmm.
If you got like widely cut onions, then you bite into one and it just like unspools and flies out the back.
I hope this was educational for all of our listeners, and I
Yeah,
hope you all will start eating burgers the correct way.
now
Because
y'all know how to eat a pizza.
I will not sit here and tell you that you can do it your own way. No, there's one way, and then everything else is wrong.
There's
Let's
my
get into
way
let's get into the
or the
news.
highway.
You ready for our news topics?
Oh hell yeah!
We have 5 major stories this week, along with a plethora of quick mentions. Story number one: CD Projekt Red got hacked. We can't seem to get away from this.
What?
This were they Polish, right?
Yeah,
Poland.
yeah.
Can get rid of this Poland company. On February 9th, CDPR, CD Projekt Red, released a statement on Twitter announcing that they had been, quote, epically pwned, end quote, by a cyber hacker.
A
The alleged,
cyberpunk, if you will.
the alleged hacker or hackers took full copies of the source code from the Perforce server. I guess that's what the server's called, Perforce, for Cyberpunk, Witcher 3, Gwent, and an unreleased version of The Witcher 3. Ooh. They also took documents related to legal and financial info. The message states that if CDPR does not come to an agreement with the hackers, they will dump or sell all of the information and that they have 48 hours to come to an agreement with the developer. CDPR has stated that they will not negotiate with the hackers. They have the proper authorities in relation to the situation and are conducting an internal investigation. This all comes off a rough couple of months for CDPR, now infamously. How did I write this? What now infamously Cyberpunk 2077 released to a mostly negative reaction, and CDPR has been trying to do public relations person. Someone should fire this writer.
Yeah,
It's me. I write this. Anyways, you kind of get the point.
yeah.
CDPR got hacked. Took a whole bunch of data. Now, CD Projekt Red does say that they're pretty sure that no personal information was involved in this, which is good, I guess. That
Mm,
means everything in this is like business stuff. It's all like game stuff, money stuff, not actually like people and people's lives, which is good since people have been getting death threats over Cyberpunk. It would be kind of not the best if their, personal homes and phone numbers and emails and all that stuff got leaked out. That probably wouldn't be
yeah.
good. It's
That
crazy
was a
people
big
out
thing
there.
in the Nintendo Giga Leak that was kind of, everyone was kind of mixed about because there's a lot of like internal emails and like old addresses and stuff that was leaked for that people that used to work at Nintendo.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of like private conversations that got like a little vulgar too, that were like, oh, yeah, that shouldn't have been, exposed. That was a very private conversation.
Yeah.
Um,
So I think that the Nintendo one seems a little different than this one.
yeah, the Nintendo was like everything. This one seems a lot more focused on what they
This
were going
one seems
after.
more trolly. The Nintendo one seemed more like we want your information because they just dumped that online, right? They weren't trying to like
Well,
ransom it
they
or
did it
anything.
in no, yeah, they were doing it in waves,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
so they
because
were
so
slowly
much.
dripping everything. But I think they got caught before they were able to do everything.
Well, yeah, of course.
Hmm.
So that one's a little different. That was kind of like a Robin Hood type thing. Yeah,
Hmm.
not the investing company, the Robin Hood type.
It's more like a Robin Hood Men in Tights thing.
Yeah, this is because, like I said, they quote epically pwned. So it's like, okay, we have some
They used
wannabe,
Dogecoin to get in.
yeah. Um, and honestly, this might be from all that, and then of course, probably Cyberpunk's
Hmm.
notorious at this point uh, release. Which I don't know about you, but I was thinking about it. It seems like Cyberpunk kind of came and then kind of went. It doesn't seem like it
No
has this.
one's talking about it anymore. I wonder
Yeah,
what the player base is for it even.
it doesn't have the staying power of, I don't know, The Witcher 3 or Grand Theft Auto or anything big like that. Any big game. I
I think
honestly,
it just like that bad launch just killed it right off the bat.
I hear more about Assassin's Creed Valhalla still than Cyberpunk. Like, I think that game really did. It had a really strong opening because, of course it did. And, there are articles how much money they made and stuff. And then I think it just fucking boom. And they're still trying with the roadmap and all that stuff. But I think the nail in the coffin was when they released that one. It wasn't even an apology video, but the one video we discussed, where they're making excuses about everything. I
Mm,
think people really read through the bullshit and they're like, "Nah, we're done with you." So,
yeah. Plus, like I've already seen the game go down to $30, and like I didn't even see it move that many copies, even when it was $30. So I think people just know that, like, stay away from that game.
it's
Though
broken.
the people I have talked to that have played it, though, they seem to like it.
Yeah, it's crazy people. There's delusional people out there. There's people that tell you Watch Dogs is a good game. So,
Kevin.
Kevin. People that tell you Assassin's Creed is good when it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Origins isn't good. Odyssey
Yep.
isn't good.
They
Valhalla isn't
stopped
good.
making them a long time ago.
I've fucking tried, okay? I've tried with so many Assassin's Creed games. I tried 3, didn't like it. It was bad. I beat it, didn't like it. I tried 4, supposedly one of the best ones. It wasn't fucking good. It was
I like
the
4.
same shit. I
4
tried
was better than 3. I
I've
think maybe
tried
that's why I liked it.
the Vita one. What was that one? Liberation.
Yeah, Liberation.
Didn't like that one. I skipped over Unity because that one, it was so bad that Assassin's Creed fans actually said it was bad. So I knew it was like, oh god, this is actually really bad.
I've heard Rogue's good.
And then fucking this like soft reboot with Origins and stuff. They're like, oh no, it's good now. It's good. It's different. It's like,
We're not doing it every year now.
it's still shit. It's still this shit. There's so many better games. I used to be a defender of Ubisoft, and now I'm like, you know what? You guys kind of really fucking suck. Between the like protecting the sexual harassers and shit like that, and then releasing the bad games, I'm like, I don't know if I like your company.
Where's Sam Fisher?
They do have Rayman, I guess.
Yeah, I got Rayman. Rayman's cool, but they haven't made a new Rayman game in forever.
I know, and those games were good.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Origins and whatever it was called.
Legends.
Yeah, those are great
They just
games.
keep, and they put all of Origins and Legends too, which is cool. But they just haven't. They just keep re-releasing Legends. Like they don't make any new ones.
Yeah, it
Um,
sucks. Anyways, we're talking about CD Projekt Red.
yeah,
Um, I mean, I don't know. This sucks. Don't do this. Don't hack into people's servers. Doesn't matter like what game they make or what they've done. Like even if they are some of the worst people in the world, you still shouldn't do this because this affects so many more than just them. There's so many people working there that this affects.
I will say I am interested to see what comes from the unreleased Witcher 3 stuff. But other than that, I don't
I
know.
mean, if I had to guess, it was probably like, you know,
Just a pre-release build.
yeah. If
Yeah,
if I had to guess, it's just like a worse build of it.
it'd be cool if everything is, if there's anything new discovered, is neat. I think in the name of history.
It's interesting, yeah, that's for sure.
Be something to
But
talk about next week. Put keep Project Red in the news.
yeah, let me see how many weeks in this year can they get into the news?
I will say it wouldn't shock me if they somehow managed to hack into CD Projekt Red servers because of something that was in the code for Cyberpunk. Still,
I did say it's a little ironic that CDPR was the ones that got hacked. Like
hmm
I think that I said the only thing that would be more ironic is if Watch Dogs got hacked. Like the guys that made
yeah.
Cyberpunk got hacked. It's like, huh, who would have thunk? That's funny.
Well, another thing I don't think we mentioned too is they locked them out completely of their servers too. Like they acknowledged that
Yeah, but
they
they
have
can reboot them.
backups and that was the thing. They were like, we know you got backups, but it kind of sucks for like anything they were doing right
Yeah,
now that they're just completely locked out for a few days.
because they're still working on patches and stuff, and they're
hmm
it's
Or maybe it'll just be like Mass Effect Andromeda, where they make the patches for the first patch for Cyberpunk, and they're just like, never mind, we're done.
God. Yeah, maybe.
5 months of
So
support.
Microsoft walks in and buys them up. I think that's going to happen. I think
EA?
CDPR is the next one.
Oh, them. Okay. I was about to say
Yeah.
EA. I don't know about that.
No, 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 no. I mean, maybe
BioWare?
who the fuck knows?
They could
No, I
release
think
some sort of.
I,
I know they got the deal with EA Play, but I
I
don't think
think
we'll ever go
EA's
that
too
far.
big.
Mm-hmm.
Like Bethesda's big, EA's too big. Like the amount of
I'll get
money
on
EA
with
makes
like
on
stuff.
FIFA alone would be worth billions.
Mm-hmm.
Like EA's too big. Also, EA is a lot of bad PR as well. So you
Yeah.
know, you're not just buying the company, you're buying all the baggage of the company too. And do you really want to do that? So,
Uh huh. Yeah, it'd probably be best to stick away from the worst company in the world.
well, that's what it was voted at least a couple of years. There's definitely more worse companies.
CD
Yeah,
Projekt Red.
we want to get into. All right. So moving on to news number 2. E3 is happening this year through a 3-day digital event. It seems that E3 is coming back this year, but things will be a little different for obvious reasons. Planning documents obtained by Video Game Chronicles state that an award show, preview night, and 2-hour keynotes will be delivered by major publishers and industry partners. The ESA representatives will, quote, share exact details soon, end quote. Jeff Keighley, who is often a big part of the show, helped create the Summer Games Fest last year in E3's absence. Keighley made a statement saying that the Summer Games Fest would be returning in
Woo.
2021, indicating he will probably not be a part of the new E3.
Woo.
So E3's back.
Woo. And
Woo.
no one's gonna be there. Do you think they'll?
Nintendo was ahead of this. They started doing the digital conference so many years ago. They knew. They knew.
Well, plus they didn't want to have another Wii Music incident on
No,
stage.
I know. I'm joking. Like they didn't fucking know. Their conferences suck so much that they're like, ah, we'll
They're
do it
like,
digitally.
they're like, hey, we could just save a lot of money if we just don't go.
The Wii U was so bad it killed in-person conferences for Nintendo.
The Wii U. I think it was the last conferences where they announced it,
Yeah, I think so.
and Wii Music.
Yep. The infamous. Um.
But no,
So what do
yeah.
you think about this? There's a lot of people that say E3 is like not longed for this world, and will be gone one day
Do you
soon.
think they'll still rent out the Sprint Center
Um, the Sprint Center.
or
What?
wherever they do it? I don't know.
Oh, the big conference center.
Yeah.
No, probably not. Because what I'm thinking is that, so from what the little I garnered was that they're gonna have these press conferences like they usually do. Um, I'm sure Microsoft, PlayStation, Nintendo, probably EA will. Well, EA was never actually a part of it. EA will probably still do their own thing. We'll probably get a Ubisoft one. The PC Game Show will probably return, and maybe some others. I doubt Bethesda will be doing one now that Xbox is purchasing them, but maybe they do. They probably have a lot to show.
Well, I
That'd
mean,
be
the thing was
weird
too,
though.
like most Xbox conferences had all of the Bethesda stuff in it before
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
conference came out. So,
Yeah.
remember Bethesda Land?
Yeah. Oh, I do. So
They'll
we'll
probably
probably
just have
get
a joint
those
conference, or
normal
they'll have them
ones.
like on different days or something like that.
And if I had to guess what they probably won't have media influencers come there. They'll probably send them demos. If I had to guess, that's probably what they're going to do is that they're just going to send digital demos to
That'd be pretty
everyone and be like, there you go. Play it this way, which honestly is what they should have been doing before because before, E3 was open to the public and like playing a demo was impossible. But if you do it this way, everyone can play the fucking demo. Which
cool.
why would you not want everyone to play the demo? Like, don't you
Just
get
put
more
it on
sales
like
from that?
PSN, Epic Game Store, and Xbox Live.
And I think
Well,
I
Epic
think
Game Store will get the exclusive E3 experience digitally.
you know what? It's funny they say that because the PC Game Show, I think it was 2019, was like presented by the Epic Game Store or something, and a lot of
Uh-huh.
the shit was like exclusive to the Epic Game Store or whatever.
That was
So
their big launch, was 2019, right?
I think so, yeah. Um, but I think E3, what they're moving into now is kind of like the way they should have been going because over the last few years they were really trying to do like okay we're going to start letting people in like audience people in and we're going to let more people in this year and it's going to get
Mm.
super crowded and it's becoming a PAX or something. It's like that's not what E3 is. E3 is about like the developers and shit like that.
It's just
I think
journalists originally,
well
wasn't it?
I think the problem is it was originally journalists and you know journalists in America are already a fucking joke. Gaming journalists are like the whole circus, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like who honestly takes gaming journalists serious? I know there's like 3. But even then those 3 can be not serious half the time. It's like, okay, you're a fucking idiot. And we see so many just examples of like, poorly reviewed games, or like, Call of Duty getting 9.5s every fucking year, or
Dude, they
just
gave Pokemon Sword and Shield a 9.
yeah, give me Pokemon Sword and Shield a fucking 9, which it's obviously not a 9.
Mm-hmm.
Just and it's not even about the scores either. It's the reporting too. It's like they're very biased. Whole
Oh.
Gamergate bullshit thing that happened through gaming journalism. There's just
Mm-hmm.
so much, and I think the ESA noticed like, hey, people kind of fucking hate gaming journalists. They know who they do like. They like the video game donkeys. They like the Angry
Mm-hmm.
Joes. They
Because they're
like
like
them.
at least real. They're like
Yeah,
they may do like stupid reviews, but like there's truth in them.
exactly. So then, which they were doing, they were starting to let influence in there, not just journalists. They're like,
Mhm.
okay, what you got YouTube, you got
Oh
this
my
many
god,
subscribers, come on in.
my favorite
Um,
E3 was when the one Super Mega went to, and they just they got press passes because they're influencers, and they just used them to like dress up as characters and play like this like super nerdy guy, and then a Christian guy, like a super over the top Christian reporter going there is like, well, he went up to like a Doom Eternal booth and was like, so what do you think like the message of God can be found in this game?
that's funny because Doom Eternal is very religious,
Yeah,
so
I
that's like
know.
it works very well.
Mhm.
um,
Like I'll have to show you that video sometime. It's really good.
Yeah. But I think that's like a big thing too. So I think this way that they're doing it, where there's like no one's coming here, digital only. Now I'm sure they're still like so tied to the old ways that they're gonna send demos out to only
The
press
journalists, yeah.
and the
Well,
journalists.
I could see some like bigger influencers getting it. Maybe not everyone, like they were
Hmm.
allowing to the E3, but maybe like your Markipliers and your
Yeah.
PewDiePies, and maybe not PewDiePie. I don't know.
I don't
Um,
know. Who knows?
who knows? Who knows if it, who what anyone thinks of him anymore outside of like real people. Uh,
Yeah, but I'm not sure.
yeah,
I think I think it'd be really cool though if they did just say like release it all. Like
yeah.
we don't need.
A public demo would be cool. Just put it on like the PlayStation Store, Switch, and Xbox Series
And I
X.
understand why companies don't do that.
Hmm.
That's how you get Cyberpunk
Or
2077, because Cyberpunk 2077, and this is a big thing too of why you can't trust media, because know who hyped up Cyberpunk? The fucking media.
mhm.
They were the ones that are like, "Oh my gosh, this is going to change the world. We saw an hour long behind closed doors demo. We can't show you guys it, but oh, it was so amazing."
We
And
got
then
paid
like
a
any
lot to say this.
any normal person, that's the thing though, is like they aren't even paid a lot, they're just fucking stupid. you
Yeah.
know and any normal person who would have been at that demo behind closed doors would have been like, there's no fucking way this is running on a PS4 and Xbox One. There's no way. But they're like, whoa, it's amazing, guys.
Whoa.
It's like, no, you're just really fucking stupid.
Yeah.
So ideally, they have confidence in their game, and then they'll be like, you know what? We're not gonna pull a CDPR on you. We're not gonna pull a Watch Dogs on you. We're gonna fucking release the demo right here for everyone. And if you want, and we want you to believe in our game so much, we're proving it to you right now. Here's the demo, and they'll say like at the front, like this is a fucking pre-alpha build, but this is to give you an idea of the game. I think that would work wonders, because we're in like this is such a different time that we're in, where people, they don't have to go to magazines to read about games anymore. They can think for themselves, and
Mhm.
people know how games are
You don't,
made now.
you don't need no Game Informer, no Nintendo Power.
Yeah, like those are still cool, and it's
Yeah,
cool to read about.
I would love Nintendo Power to come back, but
Like honestly, I think interviews is probably like the only thing the gaming journalism is good for anymore.
or
It's
subscribe
just
to
getting.
IGN to get all the latest game trailers.
Yeah. Oh yeah, when they just re-upload the trailer that's the company put up, it's like,
Mm-hmm. They put
okay,
their watermark all over it.
yeah.
You
So
re-upload ours. That's at a lower resolution than publishers.
it's a fucking joke. So,
Mm,
but I'm interested. I don't want E3 to go away. Like this is all about E3, and I
yeah.
do like E3. I like the fanfare around it. The worst part is though is that it's so controlled by journalists, and just, like I've been saying, the gaming journalism fucking sucks. Like, again, there are good people in there. 90 to 95% of them are just fucking terrible. Like, they're awful. They're not good at writing, they're not good at reporting, they're not good at not being fans. Because the thing about when you're a journalist, you're not supposed to be a fan of someone. You know, to take it from, like, I don't know, throw politics in there for a second. If you're a journalist reporting on a president, you shouldn't be like, oh, they align with my views, so I'm just going to report good things about them, or they don't align with my views, so I'm going to report bad things about them. Your job is to report what's happening. The same goes for games too. When you're a journalist for games, you shouldn't be like, oh, I really like Microsoft and Halo. Guys, the new Halo looks fantastic. It looks amazing. It's going to be great. It's awesome.
Wow,
It's like no, you should
that's
report
cheap.
what you see and what's actually happening, but they don't do that. They're not subjective at all.
We
I
need
think
like,
that's the right one, right? Subjective
yeah.
is that, yeah.
It's just kind of crazy how similar like the movie and video game industry are, but the critics are so wildly different. Like, like there are some movies that come out like, your Disney's, they always get their good reviews, and it's kind of like, do they deserve all those good reviews? But I mean, I don't know, they're usually pretty solid movies all over. But
Yeah.
I don't know, there's a lot less of that in video or in movie reviews and TV show reviews than there is in video games.
I also think it's like a movie when you're reviewing it, it's so much it's an older industry, so you have like 100 years of
Yeah.
like this industry of reviewers cultivating, like, because there's always been movie critics and movie reviewers, so you
Hmm.
have this interest industry that's like grown and evolved, and they know when they're looking at a movie they can be like, okay, here's what works about it, here's what doesn't work, we have all these other movies to compare it to.
Hmm.
And I'm not trying to like defend game reviewers either, game journalists, whatever you want to call them, because even though they don't have all that history, because when you're reviewing Spider-Man, Miles Morales, you do have other Spider-Man games that you can compare it to. I guess that's a bad one because you have Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Okay, you have, okay, say Horizon, for example, Horizon Zero Dawn. You're reviewing that game. You don't have any other Horizon to review it off of. You don't have any other. You have third-person games, but maybe those are Xbox 360 or original PlayStation or whatever. Like older games that were limited. Uh, but so many of them don't review the game. They review what they see, if that makes sense. They'd be like, oh, it's pretty graphics. It doesn't glitch out. 9.5.
Yeah. And
And
I also think like,
half of them don't even beat the fucking games.
uh,
Like, it's such a rat race to get your shitty review out first that
mhm.
so many of them are review in progress. Oh, well, I'm on chapter 9 of 15 and so far it's really fucking good. So 8 out of 10.
I think
What?
it's a lot like music review. Like, you listen to the album one time, and or maybe not even listen to the whole album. You're like, yeah, it's good, but it's like you can't process how you feel or like, whole album of music by someone in just like one sitting.
I think so. Getting the Xbox and looking back at the PlayStation 5 has really like made me realize how you can't review things so fast.
Hmm.
And honestly, I think if any of these companies just had the balls to be like, you know what, we're not going to be the first ones out, but we're going to give you the genuine review. Like, this is going to be real. It's going to be like it's going to be good. We're
Yeah.
not doing it just to be first so you can click on us first. Because the PS5, when I first got it, I was like, it's amazing, it's beautiful, I love it, it's so great. But now, 2 months later,
It's
3 months
huge.
later, it's like, it is really fucking big. I kind of hate how big it is. At first, I didn't care because, I just wanted the new thing,
Uh
but
huh.
it's so big. I hate how big it is. And the UI is like, I hate the UI. I hate the sword space. Like, at first, I
Hmm.
would have given the PS5, I'd be like, it's a 9 out of 10. Right now, I'm like, it's a
It's a
7,
solid 7. Yeah.
solid 7. It's not bad, but it's not amazing either. There's a
It's got
lot
room
of
to
work to be
improve.
done.
And Sony traditionally doesn't really change up their UI very much, but I feel like you know they'll probably make some quality of life changes to it.
Yeah,
And
probably.
watch the PlayStation 5 Slim is going to be the same size as the PS2 Slim.
Yeah, guys, we figured it out. Why did you do that the first time? Um, But the same goes for games too. Like there's so many games that I've played where I mean, Titanfall 2 is a great one. When I was playing through it, I was like, I hate this game. Like this
Mhm.
game is not good. Anyone who said this is like the best first person shooter campaign, they haven't played first person shooter campaigns. Like this campaign is pretty run of the mill generic. I
I
don't
remember
care
you
about
saying
the
that to me at work.
characters. I don't care about the stupid relationship with this robot. It's funny because it's the fucking robot from Rogue One. Like I don't care about any of this. But the ending of that game was pretty cool. I was like, you know what? The last 2 or 3 chapters of the game, I'm like, this is good. I still don't think it's the best. I think it's way overrated. Like from the amount of people telling me to play this game over the last couple of years and hyping it up so much, I was like, it's fine. Like it's good.
I think it was overrated because of the fact of how overlooked it was.
Yeah, that's probably what happened
So the
too. Like,
people who got it instead of Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty World War II, they really liked it.
yeah, and I will
So,
say it probably is better than it. Definitely better than Call of Duty World War II.
uh-huh.
Battlefield 1 is like if that's your thing, like I could see an argument that, it's personal taste at that point because they're both pretty comparable. I liked Battlefield 1's like little vignette things a lot.
Hmm.
Um
It was cool
but
how they had the like you just pop to a different character on the battlefield when you die
mhm.
mechanic.
But either way, like my point is like I had to beat the game to actually like know how to feel cuz if I would have stopped at chapter 6 and 9 and done a review, I would have been like this game's fucking shit. It
Hmm.
sucks. But then I beat the game and I'm like, "Oh no, wait. It's actually pretty good." And then even then I feel like it's not enough. Like you actually have to sit on it cuz it's been a week since I've beaten it now. And you actually have to like sit on it and start thinking back like okay, what did I like? What do I remember? Do I even remember anything? Do I actually care about anything? And then go back and play it again to really like get into there and be like, because I don't know about you, but when you play a game on a second playthrough and you really start seeing all the like little things in it, it kind of changes the game. So
Hmm.
I don't know. I've been ranting for 20 minutes on how shitty gaming journalism is. I mean, I'm just preaching to the choir. I don't think this is breaking news or anything. Like, oh god, game journalists suck. It's like, yeah, no
E3
one
everyone.
no one's arguing. Yeah, E3's happening. There you go.
uh, I will say one thing they should do about those demos, going back to that subject, bring back the Pizza Hut demo discs.
Pizza
I'll
Hut,
be I'll be waiting.
get on it.
Get those. Get us like a really like hot mess of demos on there. Get us uh, some Xbox games sprinkled in there, some PlayStation games. You can't play any of them,
Nintendo
but
game,
they're on
and
there.
it's
Yeah,
and it's only available for the KFC
for the
console
Amiga.
for the Amiga. All
No, the
right.
Budweiser console.
Oh yes, you're
Yeah,
right. You're
what's
right.
with
You're right.
everyone coming out with their like joke consoles, but it's not a joke because they're actually real consoles.
I don't know. I don't
Like
know.
that KFC console has a 3090 in it.
I
Like
mean,
it's no joke.
they're just PCs.
Yeah,
That's all they
it's like
are.
all right. We made a PC with a serious heating issue. Let's just make it cook chicken.
Boom. Genius.
Genius. How long can you play that thing before it overheats? I don't know. Is it optional to cook chicken while playing it?
No, it is not.
Can you buy any chicken for it, or does it have to be KFC chicken to power it?
All right. Well, speaking of E3 and summer, let's move on to topic number 3, which kind of has to do with summer, and that is Silent Hill composer teases a new project. Quote, I think it's one you're hoping to hear about. End quote. Akira Yamaoka, the composer of Silent Hill, among other titles, teased a new project to be released this summer in a now deleted interview. Not much more is known about the project. In a follow up statement by the interviewer, they were asked, quote, to remove the clip, ellipsis, we apologize, end quote. Konami released a statement saying that they did not request for the interview to be taken down, meaning either Akira himself requested the takedown or this is an entirely different team not related to Konami. Many rumors about a Silent Hill reboot slash sequel have been spiraling around the past year. Most have to do with Sony being involved. The last time we saw anything from Silent Hill was with the now infamous PT demo. Jake, are we getting a new Silent Hill game?
I don't know. I like. I would like one.
He says it's one that we're hoping to hear about. Now, I don't know this man. Let me look up real quick what else he's done. But like the other things that he's done, they weren't like they weren't games people were clamoring for, you know.
Hmm.
So I'm not sure.
And I feel like the only thing people have to latch onto is that he composed Silent Hill and he has ties with Konami. That's it.
Yeah,
Could be Metal Gear.
and Konami.
Could be
They,
Castlevania.
so here, let me tell you what he works on.
Hmm.
Um, and I'll kind of do franchises because
And
he does
this
like
is as a composer or as like a
he's a
different.
composer. He's a
Yeah.
composer.
So
So
he
yeah,
doesn't do any sort of like programming at
no,
all,
no, no, just
direction or
composing.
directing.
So
Okay.
he did Contra back in 1994.
Hmm.
Contra Hard Corps. He
Contra
did
Hardcore.
Sparkster. He composed for a lot of games, but none of these are like Gradius 3 and 4.
We're getting Gradius 8.
Uh, some more Contra. A lot of Silent Hill. It seems like all Silent Hill. He did No More Heroes 2.
Could be No
Um,
More Heroes 3.
and Lollipop Chainsaw. So, which I think those are made by the same person, right?
Yeah. And the
So,
thing is, like, we haven't had much news on No More Heroes 3.
hmm
So it could be that.
he did do one song at Persona 4 Dancing All Night. So maybe we're getting Persona 4 Dancing All Night too? No,
No.
we're not. But so that would be yeah. So it seems like he's done some Contra. He's done some of the Gradius games, and he's done like all the Silent Hill games. Silent Hill seems to be the one, and out of all those that he's done, and No More Heroes, I guess.
Uh-huh.
So my guess would be, my obvious guess is Silent Hills. It's a little weird that Konami says they didn't ask to take it down, so it'd be
Hmm.
like, is it Silent Hills? But maybe Konami did license it out to a Sony, and they're making Silent Hills. But it would also be weird that, well, I guess it wouldn't be too weird that they get the same composer because that has a lot to do with the game's atmosphere. Um, but it could be, and the thing is, he only did No More Heroes 2, not the first
Okay.
one, not the third one. So it's
Or
like,
Travis Returns.
yeah, he only did that one. So yeah, I would say this has to be a Silent Hills thing. I don't
It's been
know.
long enough.
I don't know what it would be
Hmm.
about. And also, I don't know, the interview getting taken down just seems like such a Sony thing also.
Hmm.
Like,
Or it
"Hey,
could be
shut up. You're not allowed to talk about this. Take it down now."
uh, it could be not necessarily a Silent Hills thing, or maybe just something, a new project that's got, you know, like a spiritual successor to it.
I don't think
Maybe,
so
you
because
know,
he says, quote, "I think it's one you're hoping to hear about." If it was a new project, I don't think anyone's
maybe they're bringing
hoping
back the
for a new
PT
project.
demo.
Maybe. That would be amazing,
Hmm.
honestly. If
That
they
alone as a game is really cool.
We know that Kojima. Now, so the thing is, Kojima has his own studios. We don't know what he's been working on since Death Stranding, which is now over a year. So whatever he's working on, he's well into it at this point.
If
He's
Guillermo's still on
probably,
board and Norman Reedus, get
and
right back
there
on it.
there was that thing where like right after Death Stranding, there was like he was talking about movies and stuff, but then he was talking about like horror games and stuff, and it's like, yeah, looking at making a horror game and things and doing
Like,
that.
it could be a Kojima project that just he got him involved because he wanted to do a horror game. May not necessarily be Silent Hill, but it could be whatever Silent Hills was gonna be.
Maybe they repaired the relationship and
Hmm.
Konami licensed out Silent Hills.
I don't know. I mean, maybe they needed it because all their pachinko business went down the drain during the pandemic.
Yeah, they're like, we have no money anymore. We don't really have a gaming studio anymore.
Our new Contra game didn't sell shit.
Kojima, you want to make this game like, you know. So I think though, if that were to happen, they would have an Xbox or a Sony or someone publishing it and not just Kojima Productions, because
Uh-huh.
there's bad blood there where it's like, you've taken this shit away from me before. But I think if there was like a Sony being like, okay, Konami is giving Sony the license and they're having Kojima Productions work
or
underneath them for it. I think that
or
would work because Sony would be like, "You're not taking this."
mm-hmm, or it's Epic Games, and it's
It
going to
better
be an
not
Epic
be.
Game Store exclusive.
It could be
Mm-hmm.
because that still happens. Bugsnax was PlayStation and Epic Game Store exclusive. So, and PlayStation owns a minority stake in Epic Games, a very minority stake. It's like 1% or less. I don't know. It's like very small. Worth a lot of money though, because Epic
Yeah,
Games is so big now. Um. So
but I
yeah,
don't know. It'd be cool to see whatever this is. We need more games coming out this year or next year.
yeah. I mean, we got a we got a lot of games coming out this year.
I'd love it if it was a Kojima project. It'd be nice to see PT come back in some form.
Give us, yeah. I mean, I think that's really what everyone. It hasn't been that long. It's been, well, I mean, we're getting a little past a half a decade now, so it's
Mhm.
getting there. But it's probably still fresh in his mind, and like, I'm sure somewhere
Though
he has a storyboard for it.
I'm sure it wouldn't be exactly what we would have got.
I
But
don't think Kojima's the one to change his story just because the publisher changes. I
well, no, I
think
wouldn't think it'd be like change of the story, but more of like this is how I would make it now with the benefit of hindsight.
maybe.
Kind of like Zack Snyder's Justice League. Like if his version would have came out, it would have been way different from the one we're getting on HBO Max.
I think that's a little different because an actual product's released out of that. I think
Mhm.
with this, it's like he made a thing. People fucking love the thing. He wasn't able to make the thing. If he
Yeah.
gets the opportunity to make it 5 years later, he's probably going to do exactly what he did because that first initial tease was so successful.
Mhm.
And I just feel like I just have this feeling. I just have like this testicular feeling that Kojima does what Kojima wants to do.
Yeah.
Looking at Death Stranding, I feel like this man, he does not care about hindsight at all. He's like, in hindsight, I made Metal Gear Solid 4 a movie. I'll make another fucking movie in a game. I don't care.
And you know what? I'm fine with that.
Oh, me too. Yeah, I'm totally.
Make
I
Silent Hills a movie
yeah, they'd probably be terrifying.
starring Norman Reedus and
All
his monster
right,
energy drink.
moving on to story number 4. That is Gearbox joins Embracer. This is another one we talk about a lot. Talk about CDPR, and we're starting to talk about this company a lot too. Embracer Group, formerly known as THQ Nordic AB, has made yet another addition to its mega team. This time it's Gearbox, makers of the Borderland franchise along with others. In a 1.3 billion with a B dollar deal, Gearbox now joins THQ Nordic, Saber Interactive, Koch Media, Deep Silver, and Coffee Stain Studios. Gearbox CEO Randy Pitchford, the asshole, did reassure that their current relationships will not change with this merger. Quote, "We love our relationship. We love our relationship with Take Two and the 2K Games label, ellipsis. I anticipate that we will continue and make new opportunities together," end quote. It should be noted that Gearbox's biggest franchise, Borderlands, the Borderlands series, isn't actually owned by them, but rather 2K. This brings Embracer Group to 58 internal studios with about 5,700 employees, making it one of the biggest developers in the world.
Jeez. Now they got
58
most of the.
studios. That is that's maybe EA has more,
Mhm.
maybe Activision.
Coke is
There's
huge.
ha.
No, I mean seriously, like Coke, like
Koch
publishing.
Media?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, yeah.
huge. Like all those bargain bin games, Coke.
Yeah. And
Um,
like I mean I don't know. I feel like there's a war brewing right now. And Microsoft, they made the big Bethesda deal and they have been buying studios here and there.
mhm,
But other than that, setting them aside, because I think they're doing that to rebound from the dark days. I guess we'll call the Xbox One the dark days. And they need to do that because their internal studios have stagnated.
mhm.
But I feel like there's a war between Embracer Group and Tencent because Tencent's been gobbling up studios, getting minority stakes in studios.
And then
They
Microsoft's gonna buy Tencent and Embracer.
Tencent, I think they own like Riot Games. I'm pretty sure now.
Really?
Like they have like a majority stake in them or something. They have a ton in Epic. Like they've been buying up. There's a studio in China, a couple studios that Sony was looking at purchasing, and Tencent gobbled them up. Like it's really is
Oh
Tencent
wow.
and Embracer Group both going at it to own the world. I guess I don't know. Like I don't know what the end goal is here. Is it to just be big? Because Embracer Group, they keep buying all these studios, but if you look at their financials, they're up year over year. Like they're selling games too.
Yeah,
So
I mean, when you got that many studios, you're making money at some point.
at what point now here's Jake, here's an interesting question that I just thought of. At what point does Embracer say we're making our own console?
Ooh, make the Ouya 2.
Because once you have like when you're the size that they are, or the same goes for Tencent as well, because Tencent actually would probably make more sense since they're in China and it's so hard to sell consoles in China.
Uh-huh.
Um, they could probably figure out a way where they can like make a legal console
Well, I
there.
think consoles are
They
like
are, they are,
available in China now.
they are. They're getting into the market. It's an emerging market, but I think Tencent could really compete if they did release a console. Of course, they would have the problem of being like, "Oh, it's a Chinese console in America." I think America would be like one of the only ones that actually care because we're
Hmm.
so anti-China. Um,
I
but
think
I
like
think
it,
it's an
it has
interesting
been
thing.
it has been a long time since we've had like a new challenger in the console market.
Ooh yeah,
I mean, yeah, it's like anytime something like that happens, like we got Ouya, we got the Atari VCS, which still hasn't came out. I don't know if
those
it
both
is.
those both were a
Uh,
fucking joke. Those weren't
yeah, I mean,
those
the thing
weren't
is,
Sega. Like
yeah, the Atari VCS was it's just another Ouya.
yeah,
But then like what else? We got a bunch of mini consoles, which I guess kind of count. We had the Commodore
kind
64
of.
Mini and the
I wouldn't count those. Like
well, we had the PC Engine Mini come out, which was cool, and the SNK one. But really, and we got Arcade One Up making cheap arcade cabinets, but other than that, we don't have like a multi-platform, up there with the big boys, Nintendo, Xbox, and PlayStation.
yeah, we don't have Atari anymore. We don't have
We don't
Sega
have like
anymore.
Sega coming out of the blue with Sega does what Nintendo don't.
Yeah. And I think it would be healthy for the market as well
Mhm.
because I think we're getting to a point Xbox and PlayStation are still kind of going at it, but you see Microsoft go more towards a service approach.
Uh huh.
And PlayStation is as well. Like they have PlayStation Now and PlayStation Plus, and they're
Well, then there's that rumor of
going that way.
the Stadia esque compute controller that they're coming out with for PlayStation Now.
True, true, true. And, oh yeah, with the Wi-Fi. I
Uh
didn't
huh.
put that because it's just a patent, but
Yeah, which
yeah,
anything can come from that, but from what it looks like, it would be, at least from my assumption, would be like a PlayStation Now service controller.
where it connects to the Wi-Fi directly, and which I
Mhm.
think would be good.
And
And
have
I
like
get
a
it.
PlayStation TV esque box to connect to,
To
but
be
one that
fair,
can stream things.
Stadia is a new console. It's different because there's
Mhm.
no physical box, but it does get like
Well, it's
it
kind
does
of
get
physical box. You get the Chromecast.
yeah, kind of. So it's weird. I guess in 2020, 2021, it would be considered a console. It is a new
Uh-huh.
console, I guess. So I would say Stadia, they're competing. Google
They're
through its,
kind of like they've already given up on their own games.
which I
Um,
think is both smart but stupid at the same time because and I guess that makes it hard too because exclusives are made to buy a console. Like that's why you buy PlayStation, that's why you buy Xbox, you buy Xbox for Halo, you buy PlayStation for I don't know,
Everything
fucking
else.
everything else. um but in Stadia it's like, do they really need an exclusive to sell their service? Because the whole point of their thing is the service, you know?
Mhm.
So why sit there and spend $200 million and 5 years of dev time on a exclusive game? It's not like you're selling more consoles at that point. You know
I
what I
do
mean?
think it is important to have a killer app, like something that is like this is why you need a Stadia.
But I
Like,
think I think Stadia is why you need a Stadia. You know
mhm.
what I mean? Like I don't think there's a game. I bought Tomb Raider on there like for $3 when it was on sale. The second one, I have Tomb Raider. I have it on PC and on PlayStation. But I was like, you know what? Maybe one day I'm freaking I don't know somewhere with my laptop. I'm like, I want to play Tomb Raider. Oh, I got it on
Mhm.
Stadia. Boop. You know?
See, it's just my experience with Stadia or PlayStation. Anytime I've tried to do it, like anywhere else. Most places don't have the internet speeds that I have at home, so it's not great.
Oh yeah, and that's
But
because America sucks.
yeah, and that's not a Stadia's fault. It's the like state of the world's fault. Uh,
State of America.
yeah, and
And,
I
and of
think
course, there
it's
are other places, but it really is America has terrible bandwidth.
not to
Like,
say that it can't work. It's just I think it's too early for something that's dedicated to streaming to take over or
um,
compete.
yeah, I think completely dedicated is too early still. I think what we're seeing is that there are people like us, and of course, a lot of other people too, that use Stadia, and they're like, "Yeah, this works. It's good." You know,
Sometimes when it wants to.
sometimes, uh huh, and
Sometimes it doesn't want to.
and again, I don't think that's on the service. I think that's on the internet.
Hmm.
Um, but there are people that try it out, and same goes with like xCloud and PlayStation Now too. They'll try it out. It sucks because their internet sucks, and they think they have good internet because we've been conditioned to shitty internet our whole life. Once it gets a little good, we're like, my internet's good. It's like, well, no, like
Yeah.
anything less than a gig isn't good. We don't get gigs here because our internet's shit. Um, but they have a shitty experience back in 2017 and they write it off, which sucks because it's like the services are getting better. I haven't tried xCloud yet, but I have done PlayStation Now quite a bit and I have done Stadia quite a bit, and it does work. Like I beaten entire games through streaming, and you do get those moments where it's like, okay, there's a little clip here, a little frame stutter there. Oh, the game is morphing. God of War is not looking like God of War anymore.
No, it's a pile of barf
It's
on screen.
fucking melting because the internet decided to kill itself. Maybe I should play it in with the internet cord. That might help. Oh yeah, that was another thing. PS5, the Wi-Fi was just starting to fuck up, and I don't know. There's
Hmm.
so many problems I could say with that console. But yeah, I hope getting really off track because it's all about Embracer buying or merging with Gearbox, and then make their own console. But I think that's probably an avenue we're going to start seeing. Maybe that's what Tencent does. It's a subscription service. And it is hard to say that that is a console or not a console because, like, I don't know, is EA Play a console? Is Ubisoft Plus a console? Kind of. Like,
Maybe I don't know.
it
I
kind of, if
think
you
a
don't need
dedicated box
anything,
is
if you don't need
really.
anything else, and they could, like, who knows? Maybe we do see a EA Play box that's you buy the streaming box for $10 or whatever, plug it in, and you can access all your games through streaming. Like, I'm surprised that hasn't happened yet.
Hmm.
And same goes for like Xbox. Like they have this streaming thing too, or PlayStation Now. Like, why would you not sell? Just make a fucking box that has like the best Wi-Fi antenna in the world. That's all you're buying is a Wi-Fi antenna and like an Ethernet port, and make it like the best one on the market that can get the fastest speeds. Like, there you go. Plug this box in, PlayStation Now, or
Yeah,
whatever subscription you have.
I honestly I think the PlayStation Now one makes a lot of sense because then the price of the new console is kind of intimidating. You get PlayStation Now box like that's like $50 maybe $100 maybe I don't know. It's a
Knowing
good price.
Sony, it would probably be $100. It'd probably do a lot better at $50. But even at 100, it's like, get this streaming box that have it plastered around the front, gigabyte speed or 10 gigabyte speed per second. I don't fucking know, like whatever the max that it can receive. Take the Wi-Fi antenna out of the PS5 because that's really good. Like the Wi-Fi in the PS5, when it works, is really good. Just plop that out, shove it in a box, and I know you'd probably need the CPU or whatever the fuck is in there. They did it with PSTV. They can do it with this, and then charge 50 to $100 and right on the box, like instant 900 games, instant access, because that's
Yeah,
like PS Now has like 900 games.
play your favorite PS3, 4, and 5 games coming soon.
I think it would be a hard sell, but like to some people, but then there's other people that are like, yeah, I can't get a PS5 right now, I want to play new games. Start throwing PS5 games on there too. Like, do you really need to sell more copies of Bug Snacks? Put it on fucking PlayStation Now.
Because that's the thing they could do. They could do an HBO Max style thing where it's like, hey, first 30 days of games out, it's free on PlayStation Now.
Exactly. And after the 30 days is up, people will buy it.
Hmm.
They will.
Especially if it's
Like,
like a long game.
or even if it's not long, like,
Mhm.
say God of War was on there, like first 30 days it's free, and you play it and you beat it, and then 30 days after, they might not buy it right then, but people are going to buy that game.
Oh
The
yeah,
people that beat it, they're going to want to play it again, so they're going to go back and they're going to buy it. So, and maybe they're buying it at $50 and not 60 or 45 or whatever, but they're still they're paying a subscription, so you're getting money there, and then they're buying the game afterwards. So you're getting double money while they're still paying for a subscription. So it's like,
yeah.
why is this not a thing? And I think it will be a thing. I think again, it's just the
It's
companies
an emerging
are
market.
I think they're laying foundation. Sony laid the foundation back in 2012 with PS Now
Hmm.
when it was obvious. You couldn't stream games back then. You can barely do
Hell
it
no.
now. You can
They
barely
tried
do
to
it
put that
now.
in everything. They put it in their TVs, their
Yeah,
phones, the PlayStation TV.
they were very ambitious, and I think they did the right thing a little too early, but they salvaged it, and they haven't given up on PS Now, which I think is smart. And now I think they're just waiting for the internet to catch up, and I think that's what Microsoft's doing too. XCloud launched to a dud because it's streaming and it has the same problem every other streaming has. But once the internet does get there, I bet you will walk into Walmart or whatever, and you'll see the EA Play box, the Ubisoft Now box,
Hmm.
whatever, like the little streaming boxes, and maybe there's a 10-cent box. And to get back to subject, maybe there's an Embracer Group box too.
There you go.
Full circle,
Streaming exclusively on Epic Game Store.
streaming exclusively on Epic Games Store.
You know, Epic could make a box. I'm sure
Yeah,
kids would buy that. They want the Fortnite box.
I don't think kids would anymore. People don't care about Fortnite anymore.
That's got
Um,
Marvel though.
yeah. Moving on to our last big news story of the week, and that is NCAA football is coming back. In a simple tweet made by EA Sports that read, quote, "For those of you who never stop believing, ellipsis," end quote, along with an image that read, quote, "College football is coming back," end quote. EA simultaneously brought joy to millions of fans while also raising many questions. NCAA was an annualized franchise like the Madden series until 2013, along with our series, of course.
Hmm.
When legal issues arose with the NCAA and the use of players' names and likenesses, EA did not use the names of players because that is technically illegal, but they would, Tim Tebow is the quarterback of whichever team, and then in NCAA, whichever team, that's not Tim Tebow, but he looks just like Tim Tebow. So, they're using his likeness. Got him in a bit of trouble. They had to spend millions in legal fees and they had to stop making the NCAA games. This new game announcement doesn't have much information, but it is almost certain that player likenesses and um, what did I put that word for? It's almost certain that player likenesses will not be a part of the game. Even though players won't be in the game, it is almost guaranteed that hundreds of colleges with their stadiums, mascots, anthems, and more will be in this game. Development seems to be just starting, so don't expect this game for at least a few years. Fingers crossed. Please do not fucking rush this game
No,
in
they'll just
like
use
the
the Madden
Madden
engine.
engine and shit it out like this year or next year. It's going to be a broken piece of shit. Don't do that, EA.
You know,
Take your fucking time, make it right.
an interesting thing they could do to get around the player likeness is to put a mascot from a college on the cover of it instead.
Well, it's not about the cover. It's
Mhm.
about like the players. Like, say like the Texas team in real life and the Texas team in the game, you're like, oh, you have John as the first wide receiver, and then in the game, wide receiver number one doesn't have John's name in anything, but it looks just like John.
Yeah.
They would do that, and it's like
Okay.
and because of stupid NCAA rules where kids can't make money, um, which I think is ridiculous.
Yeah,
Uh,
the college players should definitely be getting money from those games.
yeah, they bring in so much fucking money for those schools. Like, you think anyone would give a shit about Alabama University if fucking Roll Tide wasn't a thing? Like,
Yeah.
come on. Um, but yeah, I hear you munching.
What?
Um, I hear
I
you
don't know what
munching.
you're talking about. I'm just sitting here thinking.
But yeah, NCAA is coming back. I'm sure you don't care. You're not a sports guy, but
I mean, I like the NCAA games when I was a kid. I liked doing the mascot mode, so I'm hoping they bring that back.
I hope they bring mascot mode back. I love
That's the
doing
only football games I played were the mascot modes in NCAA.
that. NCAA was different, man. It was fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like it was just like, I don't know, there's something so much different about pro and college. Uh, it just had more choice, you know, because in pro there's 32 teams, there's 32 stadiums, that's it. College, I swear you could fucking go through that list all day for the stadiums,
Oh
and you
yeah.
could have any team play anywhere, and it's just like it was cool being like, oh, I'm gonna play in Arizona today or Iowa
Mhm.
or whatever, you know. It was like it was cool.
That's why I loved he had like I don't know if I'm sure the Madden games have it too, but he had like weather options in it too.
Yeah,
Uh, and I always loved it. It was like my favorite thing was going to like the KU Stadium, and I was like, oh, it's close to where I live. That's cool. I've been there.
yeah, yeah. And you'd hear their anthem and stuff, and it's like, ah,
Uh,
this is awesome. So even if they don't have the player likenesses, like you know, I could care less about that shit, honestly.
hmm
Um,
But like it was just the coolest thing. Like booting up a PS2 and seeing the hill in your game.
yeah, no, it's super cool. It's super cool. So shout out to EA getting this done, making this happen. Maybe prematurely announcing it, who knows? But it's something to look forward to and it's something to be excited about because people like this game. My dad is an NCAA player, and he still like you know he'll ask like, "Are they going to make a new NCAA?" I'm like,
And you can
I don't.
finally say yes this year.
Oh yeah, that's the first thing I did was message him and be like, "It's happening! It's finally the game's happening."
He's like, I can finally retire the PS2.
Yeah. Yeah, he asked like he said for next Christmas, can you get me a PS3 and like the last NCAA game? I was like, well, now I don't have to. You're getting a new one
You get a
someday.
PS5,
Yeah. So,
your fifth PS5.
all right. Well, that's it for the major news. I do have this new thing where it's called quick mentions. It's where I kind of just get like some smaller things that I want to mention quickly for the audience and for you guys whenever Roger will be here. So going through this quickly, and of course, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, or ideas afterwards, let me know. But starting off, Mass Effect Legendary Edition gets a launch date of May 14th. Hashtag Buttgate. They changed shots
Woo!
in the game to not focus on Miranda's ass so much in 2, which is totally okay. Um, you know, it's 2021. We don't need
Wow.
that. I also
We
think
can,
if
we can
they
get shots of Jin's butt, but not Miranda's.
I
Okay.
also think it would have been okay if they left it in. And it's funny that you say that because I think there's a Polygon quote journalist end quote who, when Ghost of Tsushima released, they made this is a guy, by the way. Not that that really matters, but I just want to throw that out there. They made an article talking about like so far all I love is in Ghost of Tsushima is Jin's ass or something, and just talking about how I like seeing his ass. But then he made another piece when this news broke, being like what is wrong with people like liking Miranda's ass or something, or like why are that in to begin with?
It's funny when it's a guy.
It's like, dude, you literally just said how much you like this game because of the butt, but now since it's a girl, it's like double standards, people, right for your face. But he works
It's
for Polygon, so he's another limp dick, stupid ass. Anyways, so Mass Effect Legendary Edition launches May 14th. Uh, the tall vampire lady and Resident Evil 8 is confirmed to be 9 foot tall, 6 inches.
now where can I apply to get married to her?
Apex Legends is coming to Nintendo Switch on March 9th. Crash 4 is coming to next gen on March 12th, along with its long awaited Switch and PC release.
Hmm.
Total War Warhammer 3
Well,
was announced.
the PC port was mentioned to come later,
Oh, it's PC port later?
but you also get a free upgrade if you've got the PS4 and Xbox One X or Xbox One versions will get an upgrade as well.
Yes, it has free upgrade, or you can just buy the game natively on new
Mhm.
consoles. Total War Warhammer 3 was announced. Cool that they're continuing that series, I guess. Please make Shogun 3. Horizon 4, Forza Horizon 4 is coming to Steam on March 9th.
Dude,
And
two
then
isn't even out yet. What happened to three?
and then Prince of Persia, the remaster, remake, whatever, has been delayed again by Ubisoft to an unknown date. which if you would have seen that game, what they had shown us, it looked like they just slapped an HD texture on it. It was unacceptable,
But now they're
not
putting
worth.
ray tracing in.
Yeah, they were asking for like $40 or something for it. It was something ridiculous, and
See, it's
you
all
know,
because of Star Wars.
Ubisoft
Star Wars
needs
did it.
to Ubisoft needs to just they need to stop.
Yeah.
These guys are making a Star Wars game. Oh my god!
I mean, if the Prince of Persia guys, it could be cool. You have like a parkour Star Wars game. That'd be sweet.
We already know it's the Avalanche team. Is it Avalanche? What are they called? The Division team. Who the
Yeah,
fuck made that game?
the
Yeah,
guys that make Division.
which those
Yeah,
games are good. So I will take them. Out of anyone else, I will take them. It's
I
not the
would really
Assassin's
like
Creed guys.
a Star Wars game that isn't just Jedi or shooty. I don't know,
I mean, we've had plenty. We've had space ones.
or
We've had
something that like
flight sims.
iterates on it a little bit more than it already has been.
I'm sure it'll be different. I'm sure to yeah.
It'll be a live service game.
Yeah, we'll get there when we get there. We can't spend 4 hours talking about Star Wars again.
We
We
can,
can't do it.
and we will.
We're gonna have that special episode soon where we give our game pitch and stuff. It'll be fun.
If we
Listen
ever
to
get
that episode.
Roger on the show,
Yeah, we need
he
Roger.
hates us now.
So that's it for the news. Let's go ahead and jump in to the new big releases for this week. Jake,
Yeah,
tradition dictates that you start first.
well, let's let the past die.
Not today.
All right, our first big release, which I can't believe it's already time for this, is Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury for the Switch. Power up, team up, one up to save the Sprixie Kingdom. Pounce and climb through dozens of colorful courses. Mario and his friends can use a variety of power ups, like the Super Bell, which grants cat like abilities in climbing and scratching. Team up with up to 3 other players locally or now online to reach the goal and see who can get a high score. Explore a seamless feline world in the new Bowser Fury adventure. Free roaming Super Mario gameplay makes a return in this brand new adventure. Bowser has become gargantuan and lost all control. Explore Lake Lapcat and its islands. Complete objectives to collect cat shines and team up with Bowser Jr. to bring his big bad dad back to normal. Just watch out for Bowser's island-wide attacks.
Island Point Attacks. All right, yeah, got
You
a
know,
new old Mario game coming in.
the thing is, I love that Mario game. I think it's one of the better ones they've made, and it's a shame that like hardly anyone got to play it because of the Wii U.
Wii U.
Um, I am curious how some of the mechanics are going to get carried over because there were things that you did on the touchscreen and that needed you to like blow into the microphone.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure they'll just make it a button,
Yeah,
but
streamline
which
it.
it could have always been. But man, am I gonna miss being able to rub the little white hand glove on all the enemies and just like go, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Uh, yeah,
But it was kind of needed. Just it made them just stop in place when you did that. So
yeah.
I'm assuming they'll just have that as a gamepad function, kind of like with the Mario Galaxy. They had some. Then they have like the touch. You could use the touchscreen to shoot star bits if you wanted to.
I think so, or something like that. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm. But Bowser's Fury though, that looks really cool. It's weird seeing 3D World in an open world setting because it's not that kind of game. Um, but it tried to be in one level, and it was just kind of like, oh, there's this big field, and you don't do anything in it, and it causes the whole game to freeze up a little bit when you're going over there. But that was a Wii U, so we got the Switch now, so maybe they fixed that.
Yeah,
Um,
it's 0.5% more powerful. So
yeah. Um, but I am curious to see how the Bowser's Fury thing is going to work. It looks like you're going to be attacked by Bowser at random times while you're exploring the island, all ending with a giant Super Saiyan cat fight with him.
fantastic.
So I'm probably going to buy it just for that. Like, I'm not usually a big fan of these like bonus modes they put in the remakes of like the Mario and Luigi games. I've heard none of them are good and they don't look good, but this is one that actually looks pretty good.
It's probably It's fingers crossed. Here's hoping that's good.
Toes crossed.
Our next release is the King of Fighters 2002 Ultimate Match for PS4. Exceed your limits and unleash your unlimited power. King of Fighters 2002 was lauded as the most refined King of Fighters game upon its launch, and its fully tuned up upgrade, the King of Fighters 2002 Unlimited Match, is about to rock PlayStation 4 users' socks off. The new mysterious character it Nameless dukes it out with King of Fighter fan favorites, including those from the Orochi and Nest sagas,
August.
and this massive 66 character brawl. Take that, Smash Brothers.
Something interesting I found out. You remember everyone's favorite Marvel vs. Capcom game, Infinite, that came out.
Yeah,
Um, I found out originally the roster was going to ship with over 60 characters in that game,
damn.
and it came to like I think 20 when it came
Yeah,
out.
mhm.
But it was all like Marvel was very picky about which characters they put in there. They could use any Fantastic Four or X Men. Uh,
That was
so
back when Fox was still in the
they were
mix.
like a year away from like the glorious Fox Disney merger and the ability to make Wolverine front and center on your cover, a la Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3.
Yeah,
So it
so
just came out
close.
at a really bad time, and it got super rushed too. And it had like I think
Oh, I know.
the budget of like what DLC costs for a normal fighting game.
Oh, I know. I bought that game.
So,
I
oh
bought the
yeah, you get the Easter egg bundle.
not full price, but yeah, I got it.
Yeah, but yeah, King of Fighters, everyone's favorite Marvel vs. Capcom topic.
I like King of Fighters. It's good.
I haven't played one, but I might pick this one up.
They're good.
Is this like a remake of 2002, or did they just call it 2002?
I think it's a port slash HD upres because it says refined. So, but I don't think it's a remake. I'm pretty sure not. This is probably just a hype up. King of Fighters 16, 15,
Mhm.
16 is getting released soon, and they've been doing a lot of things. So it's like throw in some old King of Fighter games on there and
And what
hype it
happened
up.
with all the other, like almost 2,000 games I missed?
2,000 games. What?
Yeah,
Oh, ha ha
for on
ha.
16, like this is like what, like 1,900 games, almost 2,000 I missed.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of games.
Yep.
It's the biggest game franchise in history.
Right behind Mega Man,
You're
who
right.
seems to actually have 1,000 games in his franchise.
Honestly, you look. They got Mega Man Soccer. They
Oh,
got Mega Man Kart Racing game.
on the GBA games, it's like a whole
Yeah,
nother
on the
there.
Battle Network and Star, whatever they called the
Ridiculous.
DS ones.
They stop for a second. The fans cry like, "Dude, calm down."
KJ Inafune is a hack.
All right, you're up next.
All right, our next title for the week is Little Nightmares 2 for PS4, Xbox One, and everyone's favorite personal computer. Return to a world of charming horror in Little Nightmares 2, a suspense adventure game in which you play as Mono, a young boy trapped in a world that has been distorted by the humming transmission of a distant tower. With Six, the girl in the yellow raincoat, as his guide, Mono sets out to discover the dark secrets of the signal tower. Their journey won't be easy. Mono and Six will face a host of new threats from the terrible residents of this world. Will you dare to face this collection of new little nightmares? Have fun.
Oh, they said it. I never played Little Nightmares, but apparently it's good, and apparently this one is good too.
Yeah, that'll be
So
cool. I had never, yeah,
reviews
I've seen a little bit of Little Nightmares, and that seemed cool.
reviews dropped for two, and Metacritic it's like 80 something. So it's probably the best game ever made.
All right, I'll
Yeah.
look forward to that then. To not playing it until like 10 years from now.
All right, up next is Galgun Returns for the
Woo!
Switch. The infamous what word is this, Jake? You probably know.
Etchy.
Etchy? That's what I was gonna say. The infamous Etchy rail shooter is back. Huge cast with over 70
What do you
girls.
mean I know that word?
Add the main heroines, angels, and all the student slash faculty at the academy together, and you get a huge cast of over 70 characters. In
Oh,
addition to the students and faculty, you may even cross paths with some ladies who are pretty rare sights. Let those pheromone shots fly to stop the horde of girls trying to confess their love to you, and you just might be in for a happy ending with your one true love.
shut up and give me your money.
They said you
Goodbye.
just might twice, and they said 70 girls, but then they said 70 characters. So are all the characters girls? I wouldn't be surprised.
But
I wouldn't be surprised.
it says it's a pretty rare sighting, so maybe it's guys. Hmm? Maybe this
Well,
is
they
guy.
said, well, no, no, no.
Maybe this is guy gun.
It said you may even cross paths with some ladies. who are
Oh,
pretty rare sightings.
girls of age.
Yeah. All right, this next one I'm excited for you to read.
Dude, I hope this is. Wait, is this based on the classic board game Pretty Pretty Princess?
It might be. This might be one of the best games ever made.
This next game that's releasing exclusively on the Switch is Pretty Princess Party. Become a princess of a magical castle. Pretty Princess Party on the Nintendo Switch transports you to a magical land to explore a long abandoned enchanted castle. Learn to be a princess and decorate the castle any way you wish. Begin by creating a princess character with endless choices of dresses, shoes, accessories, and hairstyles. Then train to be the princess by playing 6 different fun mini games. All 6 of them, including cake decorating, horse racing, and dancing.
Why couldn't
Who
they
knows
name
what
the
the
other
other 3
three?
are?
Why couldn't they name the other three? You're halfway there.
You'll have to play to find out the rest. Restore the castle to its former glory and win the prize.
And
What
win the
is this
prize.
prize? What? Who knows? Maybe it's a prince or a princess.
I fucking love that last line. And win the prize. What does
Win the
that mean?
prize. Also, does this have multiplayer?
I don't know, but
Is it just some like really like sad single player game where you play 6 mini games that are quote unquote fun?
I also love endless choices of dresses, shoes, accessories, and hairstyles. Do you think
You know,
it's really endless, or do you
the
think
only
it's
yeah, it's probably gonna be like 8, maybe. You put 8 on its side, then it's infinite.
there you go?
But just imagine this game. I haven't seen anything on it, but it just makes me think of like those Barbie games that come out,
Yeah,
like one of those
that's
kind of
the vibe I
games.
was getting. I saw some screenshots and it looked cheap,
Is it like the Shrek party game?
kind of. Maybe we have some fathers that are listeners that have young daughters that they're like, oh man, gee willikers, what do I get for the Switch? And then they remember, oh yeah, on the Gaming Block podcast, I heard about Pretty Princess Party. That game's probably a piece of shit to me, but my 4-year-old daughter will love this. There
And
you
you know
go.
what? I kind of want it just because of the name.
Good luck with that. Have fun. All right,
Just put that in there.
our last big release of the week, not the year, the week, is Neverwinter Sharandar, coming exclusively to PC. Across 3 episodes, advent, adventures?
Are you right?
I feel like that should be adventurers, but
Probably.
it says adventurous. We'll explore the unsettling darkness that has crept across the Feywild,
The Feywild.
with new enemies and rumors of an ancient Fey being. Episode 1, The Iron Tooth will send heroes to the ruins of Malabog and the new Vault of Stars dungeon. Episode 2, The Soul Keeper. And Episode 3, The Odious Court will continue the story at later dates. Oh, there you go.
And you know what? News back on the Pretty Princess Party. Just watch the trailer while you were reading that. Looks awful. It just looks god awful.
What?
It looks nothing like the art on the cover. They're hideous.
All right. Well, do you have a pick of the week?
Well, obviously, Pretty Princess Party.
Okay.
No, probably Super Mario. I like that game. Well, I'm gonna buy that game again. Why not? I
Yeah,
don't got money to pay for rent. I'll buy Mario Part. I'll buy the Mario game.
I'd probably say either Mario King of Fighters 2002. I didn't play that one, so that'd probably be interesting to play in big roster, which I kind of hate big rosters in fighting games because you start getting broken characters a lot.
But sometimes that makes for a really fun fighting game.
True, true.
Like
And then
Marvel
Little
vs. Capcom
Nightmares.
2 is so unbalanced, but it's
Oh
so much
yeah,
fun because you have
true.
that 3-on-3 battle system.
And then Little Nightmares 2 I'm really interested in. So honestly, one of those 3. I know it's kind of cheating because I'm picking half the list, but
It's everything but Pretty Princess Party. Are you serious?
well,
You're not
I
excited for
don't
that?
I don't give a shit about Neverwinter Sharandar or Galgun Returns. Like I'm sure some people like those games. I don't. They're not they're not my cup of tea. Neither is Pretty Princess Party. Sorry, not my game. Um Little Nightmares 2 I'm really interested in. And then I don't know. I feel weird at this point recommending Super Mario cuz I'm like it's just Mario. I it's weird cuz Halo's newer than Mario, but I feel like Mario's starting to get into that Halo position where Halo is like it's just Halo again. It's just
Mhm.
Gears again. Same with Mario. Is starting Mario was iterative enough with like, oh, we have the 2D ones, okay, but then we have Super Mario World, which is different, and then we have the 3D ones with 64, but then we can iterate off of that. But now, like since the Wii era, Mario has been samey,
Mhm.
and this is literally a re-release, so it's hard to recommend a re-release. Like, yeah, 3D World is a
I will
fun
say
game.
the Bowser's Fury thing does look neat.
I don't
I
know
am
anything
concerned
about it.
about the length of it, because it
Yeah, like
doesn't look long. Uh,
exactly. Is that a mode that's going to be like 30 minutes and be like, oh,
Honestly,
okay.
like it looks, it's just one level, I think. Unless like all the islands are considered their own level, it just looks kind of like you're in the same place the whole time.
Hmm.
But I will say on that, where Mario feels kind of samey, it's probably the freshest thing they've ever done with Mario in recent memory. Um, it's kind of where I think the new series should go, and they just abandon that one and do this instead. Because it's got a lot of that new Super Mario Brothers vibe, but it's got this cool like pseudo 3D world, and I may like it a lot because I really like Mario Galaxy. And that's kind of what these levels are built like. They don't have the planet mechanic, of course, but they're very, you start at one point, you get to the end. There's no real other options of navigating to that end point.
Yeah.
Um,
I
but it
just
was a
feel
lot
like
of fun, especially the 4 player mode. It's honestly so much more fun than how it works in the 2D Mario games.
people buy these games because they have Mario on them, and
Mhm.
there's a reason everyone else in the industry stopped making these games. And Crash is having a resurgence. Like these older games are kind of having a resurgence, but Mario never went anywhere, so it's not
Yeah.
resurging at all. It's just kind of like, oh yeah, another Mario game. I'd be surprised, like, or I wouldn't be surprised if we took like a poll or something, or Nintendo or whoever took a poll and it was like, hey, is Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury a brand new game or a remake? I bet you a lot of people would say it's a brand new game, not realizing that Super Mario 3D World came out on the Wii U. Because it looks and feels like every other Mario game where they just keep with the 2D ones. They're not 2D, but it started with the
Yeah, the
Wii one.
2.5D ones, yeah.
Yeah. Like how many of those did they release? Because I swear
Five.
they released 5 of them.
There's five.
See,
Well,
that's
if you count the deluxe one, it's six, but it's five.
I feel like it's getting to that point. And even with 3D World being different, it's like, yeah, but we had 3D World and then we had 3D Land, and now we're having 3D World again. And you kind of see my point. Like, it's just that plus the 6 with deluxe and all that. That's 9 games that all they might be different mechanically, but they feel the same. Like the music feels the same, the world feels the same, everything feels the same in 9 different games. Like, come on, it's getting a little bloated here. And
Yeah,
Odyssey tried new stuff, which I think a lot of things in Odyssey worked, but I think a lot of it was also half baked at the same time. So I don't know. It's absurd to say, but I think they need to just give Mario a fucking break. And I know it's his 35th anniversary, and they're like celebrating everything and doing all the re-release and stuff. But after this, like they need to just fucking you know have him be your mascot and all that. Set him aside. Bring something new. Make
like
something new.
Paper Mario.
And that's another thing too. Like when I say make something new for Nintendo, I'm not saying make a fucking Luigi game. I'm saying make something new, because that's what they do. They don't make new
They
games.
tried it. They made Arms. No one bought it.
That's not true. ARMS sold a lot.
Yeah, it did well.
And it
Uh,
was a launch game, of course, so of course it sold a lot. But like, and ARMS was good. People liked ARMS. I liked ARMS a lot. And a lot of other people they kind of had. I think the consensus on ARMS was this is fun. I wish there was a little more to it, which I wish there was too.
I
Like,
wish
give
there
us
was
an
like a legitimate like campaign mode or
exactly,
something
yeah.
like that, but instead it's just like a arcade style ladder climb, which is
Yeah,
fine. But for $60, it's pretty shallow.
I don't know. It just I think it just depends what you're looking for. Because like, I think with all the tournaments and stuff, it was worth the
Was there
money.
online multiplayer for it?
Yeah, that's all I
Okay.
played was online multiplayer on there.
Until you
Like,
started having to pay to play.
no, I just stopped playing after a while.
Yeah.
Um, but like Arms was great, and then I hate Splatoon, but people love that, and that was a new IP. Like when they make new IPs, they're weird, but they're not terrible, and they're usually unique. Like Arms, I would say is pretty unique, and Splatoon is pretty unique, and they don't even have to make something unique.
I
Um,
honestly think Nintendo is strongest when it comes to like their spin-off series for their characters. Like a lot of their like not the main games are really good.
yeah, but even then, it's like, why does it have to have the name? Why does it have to be a spinoff? Why can it not just be something new?
Yeah, like Kirby's Epic Yarn, like, say what you will about that game. It's fun. And it was originally just supposed to be about Prince Fluff, and then they're like, yeah, put Kirby in it.
Yeah, and
And
I
so
hate
Prince Fluff became the side like the sidekick to the game.
like imagine if Naughty Dog was making The Last of Us, but Sony was like,
Put Nathan
put
in there.
put Nate in there. It needs to be Uncharted, The Last of Us.
It'd be like
That would be a Nintendo.
if that game came out and Nathan Drake was in it and it was a spin-off, I bet you it would have only just been the one game. We wouldn't have got a sequel.
You have no shit, because it'd be like this is
Sully,
cool.
no.
It's interesting seeing the character here, but then they'd be like, well, but this isn't Uncharted. And it's the same with Mario. Like,
I just imagine Nathan Drake pinned down while someone beats Sully's skull in with a golf club.
yeah. But Luigi's Mansion, I think if you took it out of the Mario universe and just made that something else, that'd be so cool. Like a Haunted Mansion game.
Like if they went back to like how the first one like looked and felt, I think it could be a really cool franchise. But it's too Mario-y now.
Yeah, and that's kind
The
of my
first one
point.
actually like legitimately scared me as a kid.
Well,
Three is not going to scare me now. Like
when
even as a kid, I wouldn't have been
you're
scared.
a kid, and Nintendo, they know what they're doing. They know that they're selling off nostalgia,
Hmm.
which they are in a different position, I guess. We're at the end of the show here, but there was a thing that came out where Reggie Fils
Feel sweet.
was was talking about, he's like giving an interview or something. I don't know, doing the Reggie thing. He's talking to people, going around, doing things,
I'm doing my thing.
and
How
he
are
was
you?
saying, because the thing is, people always say this about like Nintendo and Microsoft on them, like, oh, Nintendo has so much cash, they can make a bad console for 50 years and be fine. And it's like, that's not really how business works. You can't have like, you can't just be constantly in the red. Like, just because you have all this capital doesn't mean you have all this cash on hand, and you can't keep losing money. And he said like it was a make or break point for Nintendo as a company with the Switch. Like how bad the Wii U failed, the Switch had to succeed. And the Switch has succeeded,
Mhm.
but now I feel like Nintendo is so scared to try anything that isn't the money makers, the Mario, the Zelda, the I guess those are their two big money makers right now. Smash Brothers, of course, as well. Uh,
And like you can't really blame.
Animal Crossing, I guess now too is a money
Yeah,
maker.
like it's
Um,
crazy because I feel like that Animal Crossing could have been like the last one we saw for a while. I feel like we'll start to get some like Happy Home Designer esque games for the Switch too.
sadly, yeah.
Which I didn't hate Happy Home Designers, but
Oh,
it's a little
I
shallow.
hate that
I
game.
thought it was neat. I'm glad they brought a lot
It's
of the. It's so nice they brought like the mechanics from that into the main game, which was Horizon, because the house building mechanic is so nice in that game.
yeah.
But
I guess my main point is I'm tired of like every time I look at new releases, whether it be on the show or anywhere, every time it's for Switch, it's like, okay, we have another Mario game, and then like Galgun Returns, Pretty Princess Party. It's like fucking
you know
shit.
what? Never mind. My pick of the week, Galgun returns.
Hey, I played the first Galgun. I had it on Vita.
It's
I was there.
crazy. It's a Switch exclusive. I've only really known it as a PlayStation game, but I guess it doesn't really have anywhere that it needs to be on a PlayStation.
I wonder if it's already on PlayStation 4.
I don't know. I think it's only Galgun 1 and 2, right? Or was there a spin off? No, there was the remake of 1 and then 2. And I don't know, what is Returns? Is it
I
just
don't
saying
know.
like, hey, we're back after not making a game out
For a
right
year.
immediately after another one?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not caught up on the Galaga lore.
Yeah.
But anyways,
This was actually a prequel set back to the origins of Galgun and how it became a thing. It's set back in the time of ancient Rome.
we all know why people still buy Galgun.
What are you talking about? It's a quality first person shooter on rails.
Do you have any other questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, or ideas for this latest episode of the Gaming Block Podcast?
I don't know.
All right. Well, I guess you can save that for the next episode. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah.
And thank you to all of our listeners for listening. If you enjoyed this show, make sure to give us a positive rating on any podcast service you find this on. It really helps out a lot. It helps the algorithm. Go ahead and tell everyone about this too. Maybe not everyone, but if you know someone that's like really into video games and want to learn more about fucking nerdy shit like Embracer Media buying everyone up, or the Silent Hill composer talking about things, tell them about this show, and you too can listen with your friend, hearing us talk about Pretty Princess Party.
Hell yeah. We're gonna be
Also,
giving you weekly updates on Pretty Princess Party, one mini game a week.
I'll check yeah, we'll do actually, I'm not making that promise because I do not want to
Just
buy that
take 'em.
game.
We'll figure out what the other three are.
Yeah, we'll get back to you on that. Uh, Also, go ahead and check out the YouTube channel, youtube.com/ThatOneAndrew, where I usually upload daily. It's been weird these last couple of weeks because got a new puppy and my life has been consumed by that. Also, going back to school, so my life has been consumed by that. Just doing a lot of things at once.
Mhm.
Um, but I will be uploading more on there, so stay tuned. I uploaded a video today, uploaded a video 2 days ago. It's still pretty consistent, just not daily. Um,
You're gonna burn
hopefully get
yourself out.
hopefully get back to daily. And of course, we also have our Patreon over at patreon.com/thatoneandrew. Uh, any support is greatly appreciated. We do have our first patron,
Woo.
so thank you to them over there. Hopefully, the first of many? Question mark. If we did have many more, I could quit delivering and just focus on this full time, and that would make my life so much easier. But I need to make a hefty chunk of change to do that. So for the time being, any support that you give us is greatly appreciated. Uh, yeah, I think that's the end of the show. So we'll see you guys in the next episode. Hopefully, uploaded on Sunday or Monday, not Wednesday again, but we'll see. Goodbye.
Bye bye.